In this video, I'll be discussing 4 reasons for Tesla's total domination. This morning, I came across a great thread on Twitter, so we're going to run through that and I'll share my thoughts and comments along the way. Whether you've been following Tesla for a decade or only recently discovered the company, I bet you'll all learn something new. So let's get into the video. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. So here's the thread on Twitter from ForwardCap. We're just going to run through some of the highlights, starting with some of the headlines going back 5-6 plus years of the so-called competition that's coming for Tesla that is still yet to arrive. Quote, GM could put Tesla out of business tomorrow if it wanted. 2015. Tesla killer. GM to unveil long-range electric car. 2015. Still waiting for that long-range electric vehicle from GM. How big automakers will speed past Tesla. 2019. Tesla's toughest competition ever was on display in Geneva. 2018. On display versus selling like hotcakes. Bit of a difference. As Tesla goes mainstream, luxury car makers plan rivals. Notice the error in thinking here, thinking that luxury vehicles were ever Tesla's competition. They've always been going for the mass market, the mainstream, so this is pretty silly, but anyway. Tesla is starting to face serious competition. 2017. Really? Well, what are we, 5 years later? Still hasn't arrived. It's only half a decade, maybe they're a little late. Jaguar I-Pace review. Tesla killer EV is 2018's best car. Oh, Jesus Christ. Audi's all-electric concept SUV, another concept, already being called a Tesla killer. Back in, wait for it, 2015. So, in summary, for the better part of a decade, Tesla's competition has been coming prematurely, embarrassingly fast, and all over itself. These are the 4 pillars. Auto sales landscape, product differentiation, cost advantages, and interest alignment. We'll run through each of these. Quote, only around 7% of new car sales today are electric vehicles. The real competition is internal combustion engine vehicles, and Tesla wins regardless. Tesla is quickly expanding down market. This is very important. Down market to address lower price points. Affordability is key to expanding total addressable market. And it's worth highlighting this graphic here. We're looking at the top selling premium sedans and SUVs in the United States last year. This isn't electric vehicles, this is vehicles. Curiously, Tesla taking out the number 1 and number 2 spots. This isn't Tesla beating electric vehicles. This is Tesla beating all vehicles by a substantial margin. They have the number 1 and the number 2 spot. That's right, Tesla's Model 3 and Model Y beating out BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Audi, you could go on. They beat everyone. And just for comparison's sake, the best-selling non-Tesla EV at any price point, not just luxury, in the US in 2021 was the Ford Mach-E with a whopping 27,000 units. So the competition that's been coming for Tesla for the better part of a decade, where is it? Oh, that's right, there isn't any. Please don't tell Gordon Johnson, but, quote, Tesla can lose EV share while still achieving their goal of 50+% annual growth since the EV market is growing faster. What matters is total market share. Completely agree. What we're looking at here, Tesla vehicle sales in millions in red, 1/3 to 500,000 to about 1 million. In grey, we've got ICE cars, and the green sliver is non-Tesla electric vehicles. As we see here, Tesla's total share of vehicle sales is increasing significantly over time. This is what matters. This is the only thing that matters. Okay, one more time. The only thing that matters is how many vehicles is Tesla selling on Earth. Not in XYZ market, not what percent growth or decline. No. The only thing, how many vehicles are they selling every year on this planet? And maybe in the future others as well. Number 2, kind of sounds like the way you describe the brain of a typical Tesla Q member, but anyway. Teslas are popular, higher satisfaction of any brand despite no advertising because they're highly differentiated. In order for new EVs to compete, they have to be superior to their ICE counterparts. This is a pretty important point. Almost every single one of the 5,000 Tesla Model 3 owners surveyed by Bloomberg said they would buy the car again. 99% of respondents said they would recommend the Model 3 to their family or friends, and 98% said they would buy the vehicle again. Now, just to give you guys and girls a little bit of context here, just really roughly in the general population, about 1 in 100 people in the general population is a psychopath. More than 1% of the population believes in aliens and abductions. Where on earth can you find examples of 99% of people agreeing on anything? Seriously, by the way, take the time to think about outliers. There's always some people that always have a bug up their ass. They complain about everything. They're always dissatisfied. 99% of these people said they'd recommend a Model 3 to their friends and family. 99%. If we continue here, Tesla tops Consumer Reports owner satisfaction survey. Now, this is a very important distinction. Remember, for whatever reason, when Conjob Reports tells consumers what they should like, what they should buy, Tesla isn't always on the top of the list. But when you ask actual owners, actual customers who own and have therefore actually experienced the product, will almost unanimously tell you this is the best thing ever. Tesla has topped owner satisfaction rankings from Consumer Reports in 7 of the last 8 years. And importantly, Tesla's Model 3 received the top satisfaction score in each of the 4 age ranges, so there's no bias toward younger or older people, across the board, irrespective of age. And that's really saying something. Now some comments about Tesla's software. Tesla's user experience and over-the-air update capabilities are unprecedented in the auto industry. The car improves over time, including range and performance. Now many people watching will be familiar with this, but I really want to take a moment for this one to sink in, because we kind of get used to it. Oh yeah, it gets better over time. Just think about that for a moment though. How many other products do you have that for free, after you've purchased them, literally get better, measurably better, improve new features, new functionality, improve performance, on and on and on and on? Please let me know in the comments below. I think apart from a few tech products, including software, those kind of things, you're really going to struggle. Got a great comparison here, different automakers and their over-the-air updates with the grading here. Tesla, obviously an A. Tesla's been doing over-the-air updates since 2012. Now that's a long time ago, but just to put things in perspective, the first iPhone dropped in 2007. Tesla's been doing over-the-air updates in their vehicles for a decade. Now if you guys are curious, you can pause and look at all the details here. The short story is that most of the automakers on this list either can't yet do over-the-air updates or offer very minimal over-the-air updates at best. It is an absolute joke. Ford, GM, BMW, VW, they don't have dog mode, Sentry mode, increased acceleration, increased range over the air. This just doesn't happen. And now a few comments from folks in the industry discussing Tesla's software capabilities. First, Herbert Diess of Volkswagen, quote, "Today Tesla sets the standard here in software. They build the car around the software. Updates are already part of everyday life for Tesla customers." Nail on the head again. These things have been happening for the last 10 years. The car really is built around the software. Anyone remember any numbnuts over the last decade suggesting that Tesla was just a car company? They failed to understand this. Another quote here from Kevin Clark, CEO of Aptiv, which is the largest software supplier to OEMs. "With the exception of that OEM, Tesla, virtually all the OEMs that we are doing business with are struggling with software development." That is an understatement. The very fact that they're outsourcing this in the first place should tell you everything you need to know. A few more key areas of differentiation here: performance, safety, and easy/transparent online ordering, all extremely bullish points as well. I think this is a perfect summary. Quote, "You get the performance of a supercar with perfect safety ratings, ordered in a few minutes from your phone without a pesky car salesman for an affordable price." I mean, hit the nail on the fucking head. Great table here comparing the performance of Tesla's family sedans and SUVs versus a bunch of supercars. But the Model S Plaid here, less than 2 seconds, 0 to 60, $130,000. Or if you'd prefer, you can spend $3.8 million to accelerate slower, up to you. If you don't quite have the 3.8 mil, how about $570,000 to accelerate as fast as Tesla's soccer mum vehicle? Really. Alternatively, you could spend less than $60,000 for a Model 3 Performance, which will out-accelerate a Ford GT, priced at $500,000. What about investments OEMs are making in EVs? Won't this finally even the playing field? Not that easy. Tesla is a moving target and continues to innovate. Tesla has moved quicker with significantly fewer resources in the past. Why? They're an extremely resourceful company, and they've got a bunch of big brains and great leadership. Plus, doesn't hurt to have an inspiring mission. And the proof's in the pudding. What we're looking at here is EPA range on Tesla vehicles by year. 2015, the Model S offered 270 miles of range, 294 in 2017, 370 in 2019, and 405 in 2021. Model 3 in 2017, 310, 2019, 315, and finally in 2021, 358 miles of range. I just want to clarify because people can get easily confused here. Total range doesn't actually matter in and of itself. What actually matters is total range achieved versus the size of your battery. In other words, how many kilowatt hours is the battery that's achieving that range? And obviously, mass is a factor as well. If you have a light vehicle, you're going to get much further range just because you're moving less stuff around. Basic physics. 3. Tesla has a significant cost advantage with ample room to lower prices and continue taking market share. Another super important point. Tesla has the highest profit margins of any OEM and is the only one making a profit selling EVs today. So let's take a real quick look here. I'm assuming this is last 12 months, as in trailing 12 months gap operating margin. Tesla in red. Pretty clear trend to the fucking moon. Meanwhile, every other automaker in grey here, languishing. We also have a quote here from Herbert Diess of Volkswagen admitting that it takes Volkswagen 30 hours to do what it takes Tesla just 10 hours to accomplish. In other words, Tesla is 3 times as fast at making vehicles today than Volkswagen are, you know, the company with all that experience making vehicles. Something to think about. I mean, Tesla's speed in this regard is scary good. And another excellent point, legacy OEMs are also structurally disadvantaged by selling through third-party dealers, aka stealerships. By avoiding profit sharing with dealers via integrated distribution, Tesla has significant cost advantages. Never mind the much better customer experience, order your vehicle online, fixed price, you know what it's going to cost, perfect, versus going into a stealership and having to negotiate with a pushy car salesperson. The largest cost of an EV is the battery at around 30% of the total cost. Tesla has significant scale and sourcing advantages which lowers battery costs per car. They've also been ramping internal battery production with plans to scale massively and further lower costs by 50%. Let's take a moment here. We all know about Tesla's plans to drive down the cost of battery cells with the 4680 by 54%. Think about that for a moment. Batteries are around 30% of the cost of the vehicle today, and you halve that cost. Batteries are now around 15% of the cost of the vehicle today. And what happens to that extra 15% people are already buying today at these prices? Well, that's new profit margin, just absolutely ludicrous, and or lower prices. So remember, Tesla already has the best battery cost in the industry due to scale and sourcing. They've also got a plan currently being implemented to drive the cost of their batteries down by a further 50%. So how does a company that doesn't have the scale, the sourcing advantages, or their own battery cell design, which will reduce costs further, have a hope in fucking hell of catching up to Tesla? Spoiler alert, they don't. Quote, some EVs have similar ranges, but at what cost? Tesla uses fewer batteries and still achieves better results. Less expensive and fewer batteries equals major cost advantage. Extremely important point here. To compete on pricing, legacy OEMs have to sell EVs at a loss, which is unsustainable long term. Many people won't be aware of this. You can sell an electric vehicle at any price point whatsoever, but you can't do this sustainably over the long term if you don't have a profit margin and you're not actually making money on each vehicle sold. Obviously, that's not a sustainable business model. So at this point in time, you might see something like the Ford Mach-E, comparable price to Tesla's Model Y. But if you look through Ford's books, of course, they don't break this down EV and ICE, but if they did, you discover they're not making any money on these Mach-E's. So you can get the false impression that companies are close. Oh, it's similar range, similar price. Wow, that's awesome. That's almost as good as Tesla. And then you realize behind the scenes, they're not making any money, whereas Tesla has industry-leading margins. This is a great table comparing EV efficiency, which is looking at how many miles per kilowatt hour. It's not including the mass of the vehicle, so it's not perfect. For example, the Bolt is a light vehicle, so by default, it's going to get much better efficiency out of its batteries versus a heavier vehicle like the Model 3 or Model Y. That's why the Bolt is up near the top of this list. It's actually not super efficient when you factor in mass. The i3 is another example of a very small vehicle, low mass, meaning it looks like it's doing better than it should be. Whichever way you look at this, it's quite clear. Tesla has a major efficiency advantage when it comes to their batteries. Less battery in, less cost, higher profit, lower price point, winning. And reason number 4 for Tesla's total dominance. Legacy OEMs are hamstrung by their ICE businesses and unions. EVs will kill their core business, so they can't put 100% effort into this transition. In fact, their own production plans confirm that they won't catch Tesla. This shit's hilarious. Here's a quote from the clowns at Government Motors. GM is targeting annual global EV sales of more than 1 million by 2025. This is the same company who claims publicly that they're going to overtake Tesla, yet their publicly stated goal is to deliver as many vehicles in 2025 as Tesla did in, wait, what was it? 2021. Good job, GM. You did it, Mary. You led your company to bankruptcy, and it matters. Meanwhile, Ford ups their EV investments and targets 40% electric car sales by 2030 under the latest turnaround plan. For anyone wondering, genuine morons, GM is actually targeting 100% electric vehicles sold by 2035. Yeah, 2035, not 25, 2035. Rip both companies. Quote, it's easier to see other OEMs aren't fully committed to and have no experience in scaling EV production. GM had to halt production of its Chevy Bolt because they still can't properly integrate batteries. Other EVs from established OEMs like Ford and VW have many issues of their own. Most people watching will be familiar with the GM recall, the batteries, blah, blah, blah. Won't go too far into that. But there's also been major issues with the Ford Mustang Mach-E and the Volkswagen ID.3, which I believe came off production lines in, was it 2020 as bricks? They needed a manual software update because they were bricks, like a bricked computer, just wouldn't even start. The best illustration of this conflict of interest was GM's EV1 program, by the way. Please, if you haven't already seen it, go watch Who Killed the Electric Car. Guaranteed, it'll be worthwhile. GM played with the idea of an EV in the 90s and had success, but this was such a threat to their business, GM not only shut down new production. You will not believe this. If you haven't heard the story, you won't believe this. They physically took cars away from customers and destroyed them. Imagine as a company you produce a product, people love it, and then you decide to recall every single one of them and destroy them, have them crushed. There was no fault. This wasn't a safety issue. This might destroy our business issue. Talking about the EV1, which GM produced from 1996 to 1999. All cars on the road were taken back by the company. The majority of the EV1s, by the way, taken back as in you had to give them back. You were forced to return the vehicle. As far as I'm aware, these were only available on leases, so you couldn't actually purchase them. And like, well, you know what? This is working out well. It's working out too well. We need to take these things back. Good thing we didn't let anybody buy them. The majority of the EV1s taken back were crushed. For the record, some went to museums, etc., with their electric powertrains deactivated under the agreement that the cars were not to be reactivated and driven on the road, okay? GM's so paranoid about this thing that the vehicles that weren't crushed, that were given to museums and so on, literally had the powertrains deactivated and had to agree never to reactivate the car or drive them on the road. I mean, what the actual fuck? Seriously, think about this for a moment. This is like murdering one of your children. It's fucked up. The EV1's discontinuation remains controversial, with customers and environmental interest groups accusing GM of self-sabotaging its electric car program to avoid potential losses in its core business, while also blaming the oil industry for conspiring to keep electric cars off the road. Out of interest, dear viewer, let me know in the comments below. Why do you think GM decided to forcibly take all of these EV1s back and then crush most of them, send a few to museums and deactivate the powertrain and make people agree never to drive them on public roads again? Why could that be? In summary, new EVs from legacy OEMs are inferior products, true, and cost more to make, also true. This is a bit of a problem. New EVs will take share, but mostly from ICE vehicles, against the will of OEMs. If you're skeptical, I encourage you to speak with Tesla owners about their experience. And definitely a great point here too. Now, if I'm being honest here, this is kind of like, how do you know somebody's vegan? Because they'll tell you. Same deal with Tesla. You probably don't need to ask a bunch of Tesla owners what do you think of their experience, because if you know anyone who owns a Tesla, they've probably already told you. So I hope you guys and girls have enjoyed this video. I thought it was great to go through this tweet thread. There's a ton of excellent points here about why Tesla is in such a dominant position, and more importantly, why no company, ICE or EV startup, has a hope in hell of ever catching up. It's not just that Tesla has one or two advantages on a few things that matter a little bit. They have an unassailable lead. They are untouchable on everything that matters. What else can I say? Let me know in the comments below if you have any other thoughts, any other reasons as to why Tesla is untouchable, in a totally dominant position, and no one will ever catch up. And just finally, don't forget you can join Patreon with the card in the corner or the link in the description. You'll gain access to over 100 exclusive Q&A videos, loads of other exclusive videos, heaps of content, and exclusive access to my Tesla stock price targets all the way out to 2031 in the bear case, the base case, and the bull case. So I'll see you over there. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel, access exclusive content and perks, and get some free stocks and crypto. Check out the links in the pinned comment below. You can get 2 free stocks with WeBull, a free stock with Stake, free Bitcoin with Coinbase, and free Bitcoin with BlockFi, and the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment themed merch in the merch store. If you want to take it to the next level, join thousands of members on Patreon to gain exclusive access to over 100 Q&A videos, loads of exclusive content, exclusive access to my up-to-date 10-year Tesla stock price targets, and even access my Tesla valuation model at the investor support level and above. So check out the links in the pinned comment below, and thanks for your support. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. I read every single comment on this channel, and I really appreciate your feedback. So if you've got any thoughts on today's video, questions, comments, or suggestions for a new video, let me know in the comments below. Check the cards on screen now to browse the merch store, join Patreon, or watch the next video.